stopped. But only you could turn a corner and another street that's on a slightly lower, 2 or 3 metre drops made massive difference to whether your house was inundated or whether your house wasn't inundated. So just walking back now, people's fences and gardens trashed. Here's a bloke with a water spray trying to clean out his place. I'm just all the possessions. There's a few people walking around, but it's very messy, very smelly. And this just shows you what a difference height makes in Brisbane. It's a very hilly up and down city, and we're looking at houses on a hill, which immediately behind the cafes here that were flooded right up to the top of their windows and probably almost up to their awnings on the street. And at the level I'm walking, it was just complete devastation. You know, there's a 2 or 3 or 4 metre drop down to that park, and the water was way up above this road. So water here, and then at the road level it went up again to the shop awning. So, you know, we're probably talking about 10 metres or something of water. Came into just around the corner from my house. So I'll just keep going here. See what it is. It's a good driveway. It's a bloke's car in his driveway. It's just full of rubbish. And that whole house, that's all through the bottom of that house. Just mud and tumbled over tables and buckets, and anything people owned was just washing down the street. And there's still shell-shocked people walking around who just can't believe what's happened. Everything's just fallen over. Things like wheelie bins were washed streets away, you know. Yeah. Have a safe and happy holiday. School resumes Monday the 24th on that school sign, and that school is completely underwater. School won't be resuming on the 24th of January 2011. That's a lovely little house, absolutely full of just mud and crap. And these ones over the road there across the water's pretty much gone in the area, but that would still be sitting right, a metre up the front of their houses, pushing towards the bottom of their windows if they're not high set. There's people everywhere just hosing out their houses now, and cameramen, tripods and cameramen in the street. We've got helicopters I can hear overhead. It's just a mess. There's a local convenience store, heaps and heaps of people in there, everything just tumbled up in a great big mess. All their goods covered in mud. This is all stuff out of the local shops. As I say, this is one of our most prestigious little cafe strips in inner Brisbane. It's just outdoor seating at night time, just millions of people normally at night time, and it's just complete devastation. There's all hands to the bumpers. People have got to get around this garbage here, which has all come out of a shop, and this is all the contents, the stuff that was in the shops is now just rotting out on the street, and it's not real good. But the hoses are on and people are sweeping and cleaning, and look, if where I'm standing here at the moment, I would have been completely underwater. And you can just see the mud hanging off everything. Like over here, it's an ATM, street ATM, and the whole. I'll show you the street ATM street. Probably was nearly underwater, and that's way above my height. I mean, that goes up to a roof. and you know, the screen is just filthy. The keyboards, you can't even see what you'd be typing. It's just completely mud. And this hedge I'm walking along, it's not green. It's like a dirty grey. It's just coated, every leaf coated in mud, and that's the hedge along these cafes. And I just can't get through the rubbish here. I don't think. I'd have to go somehow around it. We've got all the sandbagging that's been slowly taken away, but even off the street level and up in an elevated car park there, I'm looking at mud that's been up the door probably, you know, and up their windows, probably halfway up their shops, so God knows what the shops are like on the inside. And just more and more and more shops where people are hosing out, and but the last few nights before this, you would not have believed, you know, what we did. We were waking up, we couldn't sleep, we didn't have power, we didn't know what was going on. You'd go out in the dark and there was people in their pyjamas, you know, trying to save their houses, and just absolutely incredible. Here's a telephone booth. I'll go in the telephone booth. Looks like the water was up, halfway up at this point, halfway up the telephone, but the phone's been completely destroyed, and the mud and debris is up at this level. This is just about my head height where my hand is here, and a little bit of glass at the top, but not much in the phone booth. So that's where we are. This is where we live. It's great fun. Not going to forget this for a while. The army seems to have moved out. The police, there was just tapes on every street. The police seem to have pulled out. They've got better things to do, but we've got to try and get under all the tape and over all the tape that's on every street. People are taking strange routes, the only routes they can take because they're cut off in most directions. Anyway, I think that's a little overview of the aftermath in our suburb. I'm now away from the area that was worst hit, but I can still see a shop over there where it got up to the bottom of the windows and the sandbags are there. They might be lucky. And I'm coming up into a drier area. Just walking up a few metres makes all the difference to whether the water went through your house or not. So look, I'll finish this here. It's been a strange time. We still don't have power. We haven't had that for a long time now. We don't have a phone. Even the phone system went out. One of my friends who walked down the street in the middle of it all, about 24 hours ago, leant against a pole and got an electric shock off the pole. So he went back to bed. He went back to his house and couldn't believe what was going on. So this is a view down a lovely avenue which leads back to my house where I'm going, and all these intersections were underwater, and most of the road where the cars are coming up towards us now, cars there coming up to that roundabout, couldn't have got through. They just couldn't have got through. So the water is rapidly going away as the river's receding and the rain stopped. Before the flood hit this area, the rain stopped only 24 hours earlier. We hadn't seen sun or blue sky for about 2 weeks of solid deluging. I mean, heavy rain that didn't cease 24/7 for about 2 weeks, and that's what put the state underwater. But just before it hit Brisbane, it stopped. It suddenly stopped, and we had 24 hours of calm, and then the waters hit. If it had still been raining as the waters hit us, the drains were then full, and the amount of rain that we were emptying out, I emptied out a 3,000-gallon tank, about a garden tank, about 5 times, you know. I mean, that alone, and it filled within minutes each time. We're trying to get what water out we could, but the drains were full. So anyway, I'm back into a dry area. and this is a dry area that didn't get hit. The water got right across the road. It's probably only knee deep here, right across the road, and it didn't quite get to all these shops, who are extremely lucky in this block of flats. The whole lot is still sandbagged. The SES did a fantastic job. But I'll sign off now, where I'm nearly home. Again, this is the last bit that you couldn't get through a few days ago. Cars, it just looks dry now because this is a little bit higher than where I was walking down near the park. So here we go. And just coming back, and I'll finish off saying goodbye to everyone from Rosalie. Rosalie Village is what you were looking at, underwater and devastated. This is Fernberg Road. The Governor of Queensland lives up here. It's the next road to my road. She's got a better house than I have. Looks like the government house in Melbourne. And this is the Baptist church just around the corner from me, and they didn't go under, which was good. And I'll sign off from Paddington. Rosalie is a part of a village precinct in the suburb of Paddington, just on